and welcome to the Farm Kenya show. I'm Noah Kipkimboy, and today is a beautiful day because guess what? We are fermenting things. You know, fermentation is one of those scientific things that you used to get excited when you're told about. It's like going to the lab during physics or biology. I know some of you that was not your stronghold, but it is a beautiful thing when you play around and you create art. That will be our focus today. And it's fermenting towards better health, because it is actually a process that can be utilized to make products that makes your life better, makes your gut better. And who better to put all this into context other than Gut Feast Kenya? And of course, in studio I have Evelyn Wanjiru. Online, she's known as Dr. Kombucha, and also Shiro Chieng. Welcome to the show, Shiro.
Thank you. How are you now?
I'm well. Now look at this, man. You know, you're talking about fermenting, and I'm like, that must be fun.
So much fun.
Yeah. First of all, just looking at where we are geographically as a country, going back in history, do you think fermentation has been part and parcel of our systems, especially when we talk about our food culture?
Definitely. You see, Noah, looking at every community, every tribe, even in Kenya, and even beyond, there is no tribe or community that does not have a fermented food. Let me start with you. You have mursik, don't you?
Yes.
Yes, there's fermented porridge. There are people who, and actually fermented porridge is one of the fermented foods that run across many communities. So generally speaking, according to the research I've done, every community in Kenya has a fermented food. So that tells us that there's something they knew and we are ignoring.
What is that something that they knew? You know, these days, history, we live in pockets. You know, with social media, you can curate your timeline to get what you need, and what you don't need, you don't actually. So we are sort of in bubbles, information-wise. But going back, they knew something.
Yes.
That should be sort of a household knowledge right now, of which is not. What was that something that they knew?
First of all, fermentation is a process that helps to preserve food. So it was their way of preserving food, so that by the time it's a different season, they have food from this season. So fermentation was a method to preserve food in a better way without using general chemicals. You see? Another thing, they didn't have ways to get probiotics, did they? So this was the perfect way to get probiotics, to get more enzymes in their diet, to get more vitamins. Yes, and that is something now maybe we are ignoring, or we just leaving out.
Yeah, definitely. So it's quite interesting. You know, you've mentioned probiotics and enzymes, and all of a sudden, somebody who dropped biology, they're having, you know, PTSD or something like that. But when it comes to fermenting, those elements, you talk about probiotics. What is probiotics, and why is it important?
Probiotics, as the name suggests, probiotics, it is good bacteria. This is good bacteria that your gut needs. And when you're talking about the gut, you're talking about from your mouth down to your anus. So that is the whole gut. The whole gut system needs probiotics, because like for digestion starts in the mouth. Your mouth has to have good bacteria. Where do we get this good bacteria? Yes. Well, and then the whole digestive system, it needs good bacteria. Even the way you release waste, you need good bacteria. That is what probiotics are, generally speaking.
Okay.
Yes.
That's quite critical. You know, when I was in campus, there was a very interesting moment. A friend of mine was actually sick, and so I asked him, "Why are you sick?" It was like, the doctor says that I'm too clean. Like, I think he's some sort of perfectionist and very, very, very clean guy. So actually his treatment was to introduce those probiotics into his gut, you know, and it's quite interesting that is very critical. Right now, as we speak, you know, in the current food systems, we are seeing, as you've said, every tribe in the country had some element of fermentation, even moving across borders. Like it's very popular right now. People are talking about some of the products that we have here today, and we'll go into them specifically, how to make and why it's important. But it seems it is a global phenomena.
It is. It is. It is, as far as especially the Asians are very much into fermentation. The Asian world, it goes as far as 6,000 years ago is when they can trace back some of these ferments. So it has been there, and people knew their benefits.
Definitely. So one of the products, since you've gone Asia, yeah, it is it's not Tai Chi, you know? But kombucha it's becoming a popular name.
Yes.
And trust you me, one of these days, you'll open your Spotify and find an album called Kombucha. The way Kenyans we are.
Maybe it's already there.
Maybe it's already there. But kombucha is quite popular.
Yeah.
And we see it as these drinks that healthy people always want to be drinking time and again. What is kombucha, even before we go to the making?
Okay, so let's start with the name itself. Kombucha means kombuchai. So there was this Asian doctor who was trying to help like an emperor he had gut issues. So he came up with some sort of tea, and people called it, because his name was Kombu, they called it kombu chai, the tea of kombu. So generally speaking, kombucha is fermented tea. It can be green tea, it can be black tea. Kombucha is just that, fermented tea.
Kombucha.
Yes.
That's amazing. You're giving Kenyans ideas how to name their kids, yeah? Find kombu, keep kimbo. That would be hilarious.
Yeah.
So it's fermented tea.
Fermented tea.
And in this tea, this is what you term as probiotics is sparked in them.
Yes.
Now the making process, because that's where the science comes in. It sounds very dangerous when you tell somebody that you're fermenting something. You have to be very careful. Maybe we can go into it, because we also have some other products that we can take a look at.
Okay.
But let's start with kombucha.
Yes.
We want to make tea. My normal tea is that I boil water, I get a tea bag and some sugar, and I mix and I have Noa tea. Yeah, but yours is kombucha.
Yes.
There's a whole process that you do this.
Yes.
What do we start with?
You know what your tea is missing to make it kombucha is what we call a SCOBY.
A SCOBY.
This is SCOBY. SCOBY is an acronym for symbiotic culture of bacteria and yeasts. So this is what ferments the tea. It eats up the sugar in that tea you have made, and then it ferments it, and it's actually the end product of kombucha should not have sugar. Okay. Because sugar is food for Mr. Kombucha.
Oh.
Mr. SCOBY, yes. Yeah.
Okay. That's quite interesting. SCOBY, okay? The SCOBY is here. It is... I'm presenting this SCOBY to you. It looks... Where do you get this from? I mean, you know, I was trying to ask you where you guys get the SCOBY from. Do you make a SCOBY at home? Is it something that is purchased? Where is this coming from?
You can either purchase it or you can get it from a friend.
Okay.
Yes.
Definitely. It looks like an undercooked...
pancake.
So you start with SCOBY.
Yes. So what we have here is black tea. We are making black tea kombucha.
Okay.
So we have just made generally that tea. You were saying how you make your tea.
Okay.
And then now we want to add in some sugar.
Some sugar.
Yes.
To the black tea.
To the black tea.
So this is the black tea. It's called strungi. Okay. So
let's add in some sugar.
And that's the food for the SCOBY.
Yes. It's not supposed to be an end product. Kombucha is not supposed to be sweetened.
Okay.
Yes.
So you can't be adding sugar to your kombucha.
No. 3. So we are making like 1.5 liters.
Okay.
So this is just for demonstration purposes.
Okay.
Yes, let's add.
Okay. That's 5.
Yes, that's 5. So we just mix it up. So what we are doing, this particular what we are doing right now is the first fermentation.
Okay.
So the first fermentation is where you will get the unflavored kombucha.
Okay.
And then you do a second fermentation to add in flavor.
Okay.
Yes.
So this is the first process of fermentation.
Yes.
Fermenting our tea. So
Yes.
normal tea, you add your sugar in it. Make sure the sugar is dissolved well.
Yes, well dissolved.
And if you feel you don't have the courage to go all the way, you can still have your strong tea. Anyway, we continue.
If it's taking too long. So then we add in our SCOBY. We make sure we don't touch
And how you handle the SCOBY?
Yeah.
Because somebody might decide today I'm going to look for SCOBY. It's something that is packed with all these elements. It has to be handled in a particular manner.
Yes, you don't touch SCOBY with dirty hands. If you don't have gloves, please wash your hands thoroughly.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice. So basically be clean.
Actually, you know SCOBY is a living thing.
SCOBY is living, yeah?
Yes, a SCOBY is a living thing.
Okay.
So actually when you put this in, so let's put in.
There we go.
Let's put in. And then this particular, the kind of fermentation we are doing here is aerobic fermentation.
Okay.
This is fermentation that requires oxygen. So after you have put in Mr. SCOBY in there, you have to cover with something like a cloth or a paper towel and then put in a rubber band.
Okay.
And then give it 7 or more days, depending on you. After 7 days, you can come and do a taste test. And if you like the level of fermentation, you can sieve off the kombucha. And then you make sure you always leave Actually, we left something.
What's that we left?
We didn't put in this is a starter tea.
Starter tea.
Starter tea. So you always make sure you add. This is kombucha. It's generally kombucha that has already fermented.
Starter.
Yeah. Just like the name suggests, it's supposed to help you start the process.
Oh.
Because already it has fermented. It has the enzymes, it has the bacteria, the yeasts. So it's just supposed to help you start the process. And then now you cover. Let it breathe in and out. And then that's where this SCOBY is supposed to give birth to another SCOBY. That's why I'm telling you the SCOBY is a living thing.
Okay.
Yes.
So it's a delivery process too.
Yes.
SCOBY is reproducing.
Yes.
You're having starter tea, a normal tea.
Yes.
It's a whole lot.
Yes. So you give it 7 to
7 days.
Yes, at least 7 days. But also fermentation is a process that is determined by many things. Like for example, for kombucha, I've noticed the weather really matters.
Okay.
The kind of water. Yes.
So if it is hot,
3 days you're done.
3 days you're good.
Yes. You can actually start having it by then.
Okay.
But some people love it more tart. Some people want it not very tart. So yeah.
Okay. And you say that the SCOBY will reproduce another SCOBY. What do you mean? Is it this?
As it eats up the sugar, it starts forming a new layer of a SCOBY.
So the baby SCOBY will be.
That is exactly
floating.
what I call it. A baby SCOBY.
Baby SCOBY will be floating on top of it once you're done with the process.
Yes.
So you harvest that, remove the baby SCOBY, and then you can have your kombucha.
Yes.
Okay, that's quite interesting. So 7 days.
7 days.
So it takes a lot of patience to be able to do this.
Health does not come easy. You have to be patient.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Oh, that's incredible. So you're saying the benefits of drinking kombucha, because I have this sense that it's becoming popular by the day. And everyone is drinking kombucha. At least in your group of friends, you either know 1 or 2 people who are taking kombucha, and you're like, what is this kombucha thing you guys are always drinking? You talk about gut health. What are some of the challenges that maybe some people are having right now, best, and tell us whether it's coming from the foods that we're eating. Some of us, you know, we're always taking rice and beans and rice, and every day you find that your stomach is bloating, that kind of thing. What are some of the current challenges in our dietary and the way we do life that kombucha could be a solution?
Okay. It's a very good, let's start with the probiotic part of it. It's a very good probiotic, and it's also a prebiotic. Prebiotic is food for these good bacteria. Okay? And it helps with a lot, it helps a lot if you have bloating issues, constipation issues. It helps with heartburns. It helps with helping you stabilize your BP, your blood pressure. It helps with sugar levels. And that is why I usually say, please don't add sugar when you're, because now you're trying to balance your BP and you're adding more sugar, you know, balance your sugar levels and your, yes. So it's also very good immunity, building your immunity, because you see, the gut system is 75% of your immunity starts from your gut. Okay. And then when it brings this good bacteria to your gut system, it helps balance the bad bacteria. So even it's like cooking in a clean kitchen.
Okay.
So your body will be much more healthier. And also, generally, not only on kombucha, most fermented foods, like the ones I've brought today, they when you ferment anything, you make it 10 times more nutritious.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Ah.
Yes. In terms of nutritional value, it goes up.
Yes.
It is higher in vitamins, higher in enzymes. And when you start a fermentation process, it's like you're starting a digestion process. So these nutrients, your body can easily absorb them because you have started digestion. Yes. So it is easier for you to absorb nutrients from fermented foods than from, that does not mean to sikule the other ones.
Yes, yes.
But generally speaking, fermented food has better more nutritions.
Okay.
More nutrition. It is higher on nutritional value.
All right. That's quite interesting.
Yes.
I mean, were you sitting one day, you know, we were told of Einstein one day was seated. Was it Einstein who was seated under a tree and an apple fall?
I think it's Newton.
It's Newton. Yeah. Look at you. Hey.
I might be wrong.
Doctor. Yeah, actually it's Newton. Yeah. So, I mean, for you, why kombucha? How did you land into this space?
I had gut issues, major gut issues, starting with H. pylori. And then it got to a point I was even reacting to something like avocado. Yes, I was getting heartburns because of that.
That's unpatriotic.
I know, avocado. How could I?
Yeah. Yes.
But generally, that is one of the biggest factors that led me to try fermentation. And then when I was sick, a friend of mine talked to me about fermented food. I was not very into thinking that it could help me in that way. But generally, also, I love exploring. I remember the first thing I ever fermented. I was in primary school. My mom was a baker, so she wanted to buy oats. But in the middle of buying oats, she bought barley. She confused with barley. So when she got home, she's like, now what am I going to do with barley?
Yeah.
Ding! And I tried to make beer. I failed terribly, but that is the first thing I remember ever trying to ferment. But then I have always loved fermenting. And I remember my grandmother, when I was in primary school, back in early 2000,
yes,
she came home with a SCOBY. And Shiro meets SCOBY, SCOBY meets Shiro. That is the first time I met SCOBY and kombucha.
Okay.
We started making kombucha in the house, and I enjoyed it. And then now this friend reintroduced it to me. So I started taking. It took me over a year to heal my gut, to say that now I can currently eat everything, including the avocado.
Yes, yes.
The sweet potatoes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So it is born out of, as much as there is that history.
Yes.
Yeah? Very murky history. You're trying to make beer.
But what could I have done with the barley?
Repent. But yeah, so from that history to you experiencing challenges with your health, and this being actually brought back to life as a solution.
Yes.
That is quite an interesting arc of the journey. And now from that element of you making and it solving your problem, to now thinking, okay, I can make a product for the likes of Noah and whatnot.
Yes.
What was the mentality in that shift?
First of all, I looked in the market and I realized it's not easy to find something like Socrot. Like in the local supermarkets, it's not easy to find something like Socrot. And I'm sure in your group of friends, there's someone who has a problem with heartburn. You cannot see 5 people and not find one among them who has gut problems. So I realize it's such a big problem, yet there is not a lot of information about it. And I thought, why not?
Okay.
Because it helped me.
Okay.
It really helped me.
Ah, it's incredible. So we've learned, of course, we can't be here for 7 days. The end product is kombucha.
Yes.
And now you flavor it differently.
Yes,
I see the red one there.
Yeah.
What have you added there?
This is hibiscus.
Oh,
Hibiscus and clove.
Okay.
And this is just the raw kombucha, the unflavored one.
Okay.
Yes,
That
it's
is the raw one.
Now, I did not do a second fermentation on this.
Okay.
So as I try to set up my business, I am also trying to experiment with a lot of things.
Okay.
Yes.
Oh, that's incredible.
And this is star anise.
Okay.
I call it fizzy anise. Star anise is a herb. I've tried to flavor with herbs and spices because I really want to fall on the low sugar spectrum.
Okay.
Because I realized sugar is also not very good for our gut. So
sugar is not good for our gut.
no.
Learning. Wow. As a sugar taker.
I know. I know. And then this is the lime and ginger flavored. Yes.
Lime and ginger. So you've coined the name?
Linja. I mean, it's Asian, no?
Musani, Musani. Okay.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yes.
So, I don't know. Mr. Director, are we taking a short break right now? All right. We have 2 minutes. We should be done with kombucha. And it's very interesting because, you know, social media, it's actually a tool to reach people.
Yes.
Because people are looking for help out there.
Yeah.
How have you leveraged this tool to, make sure that kombucha is getting to a person or two?
Actually, my biggest market is on the social media. So I have accounts on social media.
Okay.
I'm on TikTok, I'm on IG, I'm on Facebook. Yes.
Facebook. They say Facebook is for old people.
I'm looking for those old people. They also have gut
They
issues.
also
Yes.
got issues. And TikTok is for young people.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
Yes, exactly. And people inbox you. They're like, yo,
Yeah.
I need this. So part of the content that you put out there is about why this is important.
Yes.
And why you should have it. Because a lot of people have gut issues,
Yes.
which is very, very critical.
And actually, most people have gut issues and they don't know they have gut issues.
Okay.
You hear someone say, I'm lactose intolerant, I'm gluten intolerant. Those are gut issues. Someone says, I have an issue with sweet potatoes. Sweet potatoes don't have an issue with you. It's your gut that has a problem.
Okay.
Because when you have heartburn, it's an indicator of a problem in your gut.
Oh, okay. That's very, very incredible. So we're going to take a short break. When you come back, there's still some other foreign names, which, of course, we have kimchi. So I don't know whether it was a doctor who was called Kim. And then cabbages are called cheese. So it was kimchi, like kombucha. But you take a short break. When you come back, we're still exploring this wonderful world of fermented products and how it is important and how you should try it if you haven't tried. That and many more after our short break. Keep it tuned at The Farm Kenya Show.